After my freshman semester, after my freshman year, I was like, I don't really want to do this. I don't know what I want to do. I don't know how to describe it. But I joined the Wildlife Club at CSU, the Wildlife Society. And at the first meeting of the Wildlife Society, they brought in a bald eagle, or a golden eagle, and a red-tailed hawk. And I remember like sitting in class, just like starstruck, like I had seen a celebrity, and I was like, oh, people actually do, like, this isn't just like a Steve Irwin thing. Like, people actually get the opportunity not only to work with wildlife and to work with cool animals, but to like show it to people and to like share the knowledge and the passion and the love for it. So I immediately fell in love. I switched my major to fish and wildlife and conservation biology. And after switching, I noticed something in my classes that I hadn't really noticed before. But especially at CSU, the classes were predominantly white, like pretty white, like white, you know.
You can say it like this room.
Yeah, and it's not a bad. I'm not shaming. I'm not upset. I'm not shaming anybody. I'm just saying what the fact was. It's just white. It was like white, like windy white, like really. And a lot of people were like, "Oh, that's a bad." And I'm like, "No, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just how the classes was." But as I was sort of going through my degree and learning and getting older and being comfortable in who I am and where I come from, I was like, I not only want to teach people, but I also want to give people the other opportunity to share this experience, right? Because the only person I knew who was a nature nerd was my grandfather. None of my friends, none of the people I grew up with cared about anything about the environment. They didn't care about anything in nature. They just knew like basic stuff, which is fine, but I had this sense and urgency of like, oh, I want to share this with people who look like me. I want to give people the opportunity to like go outside, and whether that's ski or snowboard, and that's how you get involved in nature, whether that's going fishing, backpacking, birding, whatever that looks like, I wanted people to do that. So as I was going through my degree, this was like always playing in the back of my head, and I promised myself that after I get like the academic knowledge and love, that I would, get a chance to show people while I was a nerd chasing bugs in the creek. And my grandfather always used to say this thing, and I never really understood it until I got to college, but he used to say, you can't be what you can't see. And that never really made sense to me until I got to college, and I was like, oh, growing up, I only saw people who did like certain jobs or had certain career paths. But then as I got older, I was like, oh, you can't be what you can't, like that makes sense. You can't attain to something, or you can't want to do something unless you see other people who maybe look like you, who be like, oh, I can do that. I have the opportunity to do that, to connect with those things like that. So that really resonated with me.